यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। विंटर मैराथन श्रील प्रभुपाद बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nascha prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. We're going to read text 47 today. Sa itham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksenaha Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelaya Unnitam Apsu Nyasha Yayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksena Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonutim Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksenah Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksenah Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksena Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksena Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksena Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi. Vaishnavis. Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksena Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi Saitham Bhagavan Urvim Vishwaksena Prajapatihi Rasaya Leelayonitam Apsu Nyashayayau Harihi. Sa he itham in this manner. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Urvim, the earth. Vishwaksenah, another name of Vishnu. Prajapatihi, the Lord of the living entities. Rasaya, from within the water. Leelaya, very easily. Unnitam, raised. Apsu, on the water. Nyasya, placing. Yayav, returned to his own abode. Harihi, the personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In this manner, the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed it afloat on the water, he returned to his own abode. I'd like to repeat this. In this manner, the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed it afloat on the water, he returned to his own abode. Purport. The personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, descends by his will to the material planets in his innumerable incarnations for particular purposes. And again he goes back to his own abode. When he descends, he is called an avatar, because avatar means one who descends. Neither the Lord himself nor his specific devotees who come to this earth are ordinary living entities like us. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam She He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitha Nama Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Swayam Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarini Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pankham Langayate Girim Yatkripatam Hamande Shri Guru Dinakaranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I seek blessings of all the devotees here, assembled devotees, very elevated devotees everywhere, and also online. So, with your blessings, maybe I can speak something meaningful for my own benefit. And maybe it will help someone, at least, I hope. So we are in this chapter now, the appearance of Lord Varaha. And pretty much towards the end of the chapter now, because the task that Lord has taken on is just finished. So after this, I think will be more of the Shruti Labh, or the benefits of hearing and reading this will come. So what happened in this chapter, the conversation is between Vidura and Maitreya, the great souls. Vidura was so dear to Sri Krishna. I mean, we can't imagine. Prabhupada says in the beginning of the chapter somewhere, he says that Lord allowed, how Lord used to deal with Vidura was very interesting. He would keep his feet in Vidura's lap and let Vidura massage. I mean, you can imagine to get that kind of proximity, that kind of, say, to become that kind of confidential devotee of the Lord means a lot. I mean, in our life, if we can get one devotee who is so comfortable with us, so friendly with us, that he put his feet on our lap and we get to massage, that will be our success. That's why I'm thinking my success will be that. If I can please the devotee. So what to speak of pleasing the Supreme Lord? So this is Vidur, very powerful, very, very, very special. We know his background, we're not going to go there. So Vidur has been asking various questions to Maitreya, and it comes to the stage of appearance Lord Varaha. Some more will follow about his appearance and details and how it happened. But the objective that was being raised in this chapter was Lord Brahma, actually from the beginning of previous chapter also, he has a special duty. He's taken on a service to create this material world, the secondary creation. Sarga Visarga is the second creation. It's already created by the Lord. So Lord Brahma is creating. So Lord Brahma is fulfilling the desire of the Supreme Lord. Lord Brahma appeared from the navel of the Lord, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And he prayed, he performed tapasya to understand what his duty is, what he is supposed to do. He was by himself. It was dark. It was stormy. Just imagine. He's stuck in the middle of a road somewhere. I remember one time getting stuck. And the car breaks down. It was not here. We don't get so much lightning here. We were back in Mumbai. And the car wouldn't move. And if you've seen Mumbai monsoon, it's really something. And I jumped off the car. I don't know what to do. And it's India. No, you don't have any. In those days, at least, I'm broken down here. Please come out. There was no one. Middle of nowhere, and there was lightning everywhere. Lightning, and just constantly. It's so scary. It's quite scary. Yeah, well, I did not really remember, Lord, what is my purpose here. But it's just quite scary. But Lord Brahma, because of his intention to serve, his intention is to serve. The Lord appears, Lord gives him the knowledge. And now Lord Brahma is, he needs to get the living entities here on the ground, because the purpose the Lord wants to fulfill is that all his amshas, Mamaiva Amsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, all his amshas can be reclaimed. They can all go back to where they belong. So this is Lord's desire. Lord Brahma, aligning with the Lord's desire, wants to take the next step. He is the service. And trying to get, more living entities, gets 4 Kumaras. Now he wants them to procreate, expand. Not much luck with that. Then Lord Shiva comes along. That's a very special kind of procreation starts to take place. And then something very special happens. Then we have the appearance of two great souls at the same time, Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa. The first Grihastha life, can you imagine? The responsibility of this, procreation, expansion, and allowing the living entities to take birth so that they can be delivered is taken by Grihasthas. It's a very special duty of Grihasthas, all Grihasthas. And Swayambhu Manu has set the example of fulfilling the desire of his father. The father and son has a very special relationship. Lord Brahma is fulfilling the desire of his father. And now Swayambhu Manu, along with Rupa, is fulfilling the desires of their father. Because this is, as per the scriptures, this is one of the important aspects. Actually, Swayambhu Manu himself, he's written Manu Samhita, Manu Smriti, where he details the varnashram dharma, the duty of a father, of a son, of a king, of a guru, of a disciple, all sorts of responsibilities in there, of a husband and wife, a lot of details in there. Srila Prabhupada has actually taken a lot and already given to us, so we don't have to fortunately go and read all those scriptures unless we are academically inclined. So all those scriptures all started from Swayambhu Manu, so he was quite a important personality. And as she comes along, they ask the right questions. So how do we do this? We get a service to do. Then say, okay, how do I do this service? What infrastructure has been given to me? Tools, equipment, do I have all the books to distribute? What is there? So Srila Prabhupada has given us all. So Swayambhu Manu looks and says, okay, this is, I take your instruction, I bow down to your desire, your wish, and we would like to expand our family, but where do we do it? Where do we do it? And then they are perplexed because Mother Earth is in the waters. Whether that's in Garbhodaka Ocean or where, that's in the water. That's what we said. In this verse it says, Rasaya, from within the water. This is all transcendental knowledge, so we'll go with that. And then they start to pray. Okay, it seems like we don't have a space. We need to create some space. Then where do we go? So this is the nature of devotee when they are they are perplexed or they are in confusion. They surrender to the Lord. Remember the Lord, please help us to take shelter. And something magical happens. I'm breathing now. Breathing from the nostrils of Lord Brahma appears this tiny, tiny little, we can't imagine what is the size of Lord Brahma's body, or we can't probably relate to those things, but you can imagine it's coming. Very tiny, but scripture explain small. And as they see, they're seeing and then it starts to bigger and bigger. They're confused, so what's happening here? Suddenly, the huge mountain, like what is the size of this mountain, is appearing and is there. And in a very special, unique form, body of a boar comes along. So, Lord Brahma, although perplexed, sees the quite uncommon, symptom of this kind of incarnation. They could very easily, because devotees can very easily, figure out this is our Lord appearing. They can figure out. We may not be sometimes, because conditioning. So devotees, Lord Brahma immediately identify this as Lord, and all the other devotees from the higher lokas, Jana Loka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, they are all assembled there. They all start to see this is the Lord appearing. As soon as the Lord appears, they all appear. They recognize the Lord and they start to glorify. And the Lord becomes, a big size. And now he's on his job. He takes a plunge into the ocean. He says how he divides the water and how he goes there. So we are at this stage now. And in between we've seen how there's so many prayers that these great sages, say to the Lord, glorify the Lord's appearance. They are this is Lord Varaha. His body is compared to Yajna Purush. So all his body limbs, how they are glorifying is very special, very unique in that sense. So then we come to this, in the previous verses, in this manner, what is this manner in the previous verse? Explains that. The Lord, this is my sage Maitreya said, the Lord, thus being worshipped by all the great sages and transcendentalists, touched the earth with his hooves and placed it on the water. And now again in this psalm, Saitam Bhagavan Urvim. Urvim, this is the beauty of a scripture, like how it's not saying earth, or in the previous verse, the name was Avani, I think Avani. Yeah, Avanim. In this verse, the name is Urvim. This is the personal aspect of our scriptures. And understanding, to give us the understanding that it's not impersonal, it's all personal. Mother Earth, she has names, she has a personality, she belongs to Krishna, his consort. So Urvim is the name given here. And in one sense, like if I think of today's time, what's happening with Mother Urvi, we can call Mother Urvi, what's happening? It's because there is so much impersonalism in the world. Because they don't relate to any person as such, they don't. That's where the problem is. If you go like traditionally, we may say a lot, but if you go to India, they see a Ashwatha tree, they worship them at trees. Every living entity, even stones, every living entity is a personality. The moment it turns to personality, it's a person, the interaction changes. If I think it's a matter, it's a thing, no, who cares for things? Who cares for matter? But when it comes to person, even if the most difficult people may also start to realize, at least think before they start to disrespect, think before they start to destroy the other person's body. But this is the world that we are in today because of impersonalism. That's why our Srila Prabhupada and his spiritual master also, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshatarane, realizing that the most need, because this is Western world leading the whole world at the moment, which is full of Nirvishesha Vadis, impersonalism. So, and by our own example also, devotees, we can also set some example to how do we actually care for Mother Urvi. Look at it like that. We can be, yes, someone can say that, yes, I offer everything I get from the superstore, and I offer, which is great. But can we do the next step? So the devotee is not satisfied with doing the basics. This was a basic thing, to offer to the Lord. And devotee goes to the next level and say, what more can I do? Can I help Mother Urvi in some aspect? How can I help? Can I serve? Okay, then how do I satisfy my Lord the most? By satisfying the most means I will personally grow what I offer to the Lord. I only eat what is offered to the Lord, and I grow what I want to offer to the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada wanted this so much, to bring that self-sufficiency at least in temple. I'll tell you, because I serve in the farm, one person he was part of the monk challenge. He had no background absolutely zero background on, whatever courses he's done, 5-6 days he learned. But he comes to me, he's from Liverpool. He comes and says, you guys goes to the farm and see what we're growing and stuff. And he says, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I said, okay, thank you so much. I thought, he got some background on farming and sustainable living and stuff. I say, yeah, we're trying our best, with whatever facilities we have. Then he says to me, you Hare Krishnas can save the world. I said, wow, this is something. And I said, how can we save the world? He said, by doing what you're doing, you are setting an example of how you can grow your own food without disturbing the mother nature, without throwing in the chemical, without destructing the soil. Because I don't know how many of us are aware that in this country, we only have soil which will remain fertile at the current speed that we're going for 40 more years. In 1970, there was one lady who gave a detailed description, she was a scientist, of what is happening with all these chemicals going in and all. I'm getting distracted. But it's important to understand this is what's happening. So, Saitham Bhagavan Urvim, Vishwaksena Prajapatihi. So the Lord is now named here Vishwaksena. This is there's also Vishnu Sahasranam, there's 1008, one of the name is this, and there's so many other names. And the way it comes in Vishnu Sahasranam, and actually in Bhāgavatam also I looked up a few times, this name comes of Vishwaksena, which primarily means the Lord who is protecting the devotees from obstacles. And it is explained in South India, they worship Vishwaksena. If you go to South Indian temples, you will see the Vishwaksena, Lord Vishwaksena will be there right at the entrance of the temple. In Srirangam, if you go, all the others, even Udupi temple also, if you go, you will see that. So he's like, well, some other, as I said, they would worship like Lord Ganesha as, removal of obstacles. So it is said that all the spiritual obstacles are removed by Lord Vishwaksena. And the material aspect, people who are more interested in the material life, they worship Lord Ganesha for that. So it's a Yasya Dvirada Vaktradya Parisadya Parashatam. Yeah? Vigdham Nignanti Satatam Vishwaksena Tamashraye. It says, Yasya Dviraka Vaktratunda, like the Lord Ganesha is Vaktratunda Mahakaya Samakoti, Surya Koti Samaprabha is worshipped like that. Vaktratunda means many. So this Vishwaksena actually, he has his parshadas, all his assistants are all they're elephant faced. He says all those elephant faced, who are attendants of Lord Vishwaksena, if we take his shelter, he will Vigdham Nignanti, all the vigna, all the obstacles will be removed by the Lord. So the Lord is addressed here as Vishwaksena, so which is very special. For us also, we have to pray, we pray to Nrsimhadev, or we can also pray to Vishwaksena. So he does that. Then Srila Prabhupada's purport, I'll get conscious of time. The personality of Godhead descends, Lord Vishnu, personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, descends by his will to the material planets in his innumerable incarnation for particular purposes. So this is Lord appears for a specific purpose at a specific time when he needs to do. So what I thought is we will discuss something about the appearance of the Lord. So this is why is it specifically given in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvatah takta deham punarjanma naiti mameti suvarjuna. Now, if we say very simply speaking, Janma Karma Cheme Divyam, birth and my activities are Divyam, transcendental. One who understands this, they will not have to take birth again. So, as devotees, we understand, or at least we accept. Some of us, accept, may not understand fully. So, I'm going to go through these verses from the 4th chapter, and we'll try to detail that a little bit. So 4th chapter starts with the transcendental knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, and starts with Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Imam Vivashvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivashvan Manave Praha Muni Rakshva Kave Bravit Ikshavaku. So the Lord says, I gave this knowledge to Manu, Vivashvan, and he gave it to Manu. Manu gave it to Ikshvaku, and like that, this was Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajisha Vidhu. Sa Kalene Hamahata Yogo Nashcha Parantapa. As the time goes on, the knowledge got destroyed. He goes on then. Then he says, Sa Evayam Maya Tedya Yukta Yoga Prokta Puratanaha Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti Rahashyam Hetu Dotam. Because you are my devotee and you are a friend, I'm going to give you the same knowledge. Now Arjun, as he is hearing this, his mind is working. Hang on, you said you gave it to Vivashvan, sun god, who appeared many millenniums ago. He starts to ask a question. I mean, now he is feigning ignorance, we know that, for our own benefit. But it's the right thing to ask a question. He asked a question, Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvatah, katham etad vidyaniyam, tvam ado proktavan iti. How did you speak? Your birth and Vivaswan's birth, I can't follow this. We are similar age. When did you speak to Lord, to Vivaswan? I can't understand this. So Lord says very easily, Bhavuni me vyatitani janmani tava chajuna tanyam veda sarvani natam veda parantapa. You don't remember all the birth. You have taken many births, I have taken many births. You don't remember, but I do remember everything. I know everything. Then he speaks this verse, which is we're going to discuss a little bit more. And this is like a verse which has been discussed a lot before the Yada Yadahi Dharmasya, which is more popular. It says, Ajopi san avyayatama. Ajopi san avyayatama. Bhutanam ishvaropi san. Prakatim swam adhisthaya. Sambhavamya atma mayaya. So he says, Ajopi. Ajo means literally unborn. So Krishna is unborn. He says that. Do we agree? Krishna is unborn. But then we say that Krishna is Nanda Sutta, Yashoda Sutta, is Devaki Sutta, is Vasudev, son of Vasudev. Like, we say that, right? That means he's born. He's born, but we call him unborn. How is it that? And if you can also, as we can say, well, we are also unborn. Soul is also unborn. So we're going to try and discuss a little difference between what is Lord's birth and what is a Jiva's birth. How is it different? Yeah. The Lord's birth, he says, Ajopi, unborn. So what that really means is unborn in the way that an ordinary living entity is born. And how do we expand that? So say, Lord decides, he makes his own calls. Yeah? Where, who, when, or what should I do? It's all Allah's planned. Yeah? Lord is not like us. We are helpless. Because our birth is driven by the material or the law of karma. The Lord is beyond the karma. So he is not forced. He has not done any punya to take birth as son of Aditi, a Vamandev. He has not done any pap to take birth of a boar, right? So if we as human, we perform sinful activities, our birth could be a boar. And this is why we say, okay, it's a boar, maybe he performed sinful activities. But Lord does not perform any sinful activities to take birth of Varaha. Now, Varaha has appeared himself. And sometimes he appears and he has mother and father. Lord Ram has mother, Kaushalya, Dasharath, Vamandev, Kashyapa, Aditi, Yashoda, Maya, Nanda. So we say that, is he son of Yashoda? Yes, he's son of Yashoda. But he is unborn, same time. So this is the Achintya Bhedabhed the Lord has. So the helplessness, the living entity, Jiva is helpless to get birth, right? And then we are fully dependent. As we take birth as Jiva, we cry. We have to get some slapping. If we're not crying, we get some slaps. Lord does not have to go through all that. Yeah, so he's not dependent. And he can choose when to appear. We can't choose when to appear. We can't choose what body to take. He can take his body. He can choose when to appear, whom to appear, who is my father and mother. Right? And he can decide on a time. We can't have, I don't have anyone has experience or any, midwives here. Someone experienced like a child coming, hang on, it's not my time yet. I'll be soon there. And no need to cut the umbilical cord, none of all that. So none of that happens with the Lord's birth. So the Lord's birth is not the same. So not by his karma, not by because of his helplessness, not because of his dependent on something, not his forced to take birth, his own will when he wants to take birth. So, but that is not the situation with us. We are given a parent based on our karma, and we just thrown in, and then go through the whole cycle. So there are similarities. One sense of similarity, you can say the soul is also unborn, but the soul is unborn, but he gets the body. So actually in Bhāgavatam also, there's a discussion going on where Parikshit Maharaj asked the question like, if the soul is pure spirit soul, how does it happen that it gets a body? How does it get a body? A material body made of Panchabhuta, or the 5 elements. So that happens because of ignorance, because the jiva is conditioned. So he is conditioned and he gets that body. And he identifies with his body. So his identification with his body is false ego. The Lord's identification, Sambhavami, says, Atma Maya, by my own energy I am appearing, is Lord's body, is identifying with his body. And if we understand that he's identifying with his spiritual body, it is liberating for us. We identify with our false body, it is a bondage for us. So this is how the Lord's birth and Jiva's birth get differentiated. So this is Achintya Bheda Bhed. And then the verse goes again, Ajopi San Avyayatma. Avyayatma again, when we take birth, in this verse, Avyayatma means, Atma is, I've got few meanings, body, mind and soul, all 3 used. So in this particular, verse we're talking about Lord saying, Avyayatma, my body is, that cannot be destroyed. Avyaya, cannot wear out. We are born with the body, Vyayatma, the opposite of that, because our body is destined, because we have material body destined to go someday. Ajopi san avyayatma, bhutanam ishvaropi san. Say, I am the Lord of all living entities. So when the Lord appears, whether he is a little baby, as little Krishna, he still, one way is dependent on his parents to be fed, to be looked after, to be cared, to be given, bath and everything. But he is still Ishvara. In that state also, he is always the Lord. He can, at that age also, he can suck the life air out of Putana. He can kick that cart, demon. So many demons is killing our age. So his body is not the same as our body. His body is different. Ajopi sanavayatma. Prakritim swam adhisthaya. So he is appearing in his own body. A body which is the same. So Lord, as a Mahabharata war happens, when the Mahabharata war took place, Krishna was already grandfather. But he appeared the same as young, youth ever. Nava yauvanam cha, he's ever fresh, ever youth. But we tend to become so much worn out. I can experience that already. So, and then Prakritim Samadhishnam. And then he appears, says, Sambhavami Atma Maya. By my own energy I appear. So living entities are appeared because of the energy of the Lord. But the Lord is appearing because of his own energy. Nobody, as living entities, conditioned jivas, we take birth and we have some energy that is helping us do that. So Lord's appearance is like that. So this is probably something to think of. It's interesting to see how the difference between the two. And then Srila Prabhupada also goes on and says, he descends because he's called avatar. There are many avatars, Yuga avatar, Manvantara avatar, Guna avatar. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains different types of avatars. Then Srila Prabhupada says, neither the Lord himself nor his specific devotees who come to this earth are ordinary living entities like us. Now Srila Prabhupada's humility here. Srila Prabhupada was by no means an ordinary living entity. And this is I mean, in one way, every time I think about it, like if you see from India, it's more popular. And there is someone went in 1870, spoke something in Parliament, and he's being glorified even today. I don't know. He said something like, "We all my dear friends," or something like that. There was hardly any, much of spiritual matter. Srila Prabhupada, at that age of 70, leaving India with so little money and going to the West in 10 years. Traveling all over the world 14 times, 108 plus temples, thousands of disciples, creating this, huge movement, which is today after 50 years, again, after 50 years, growing more and more. So Srila Prabhupada was no means was an ordinary living entity, ordinary guru. There were so many gurus who went to the West. Who actually, there was even mantra also was gone. There was, there was one person who already chanting Hare Krishna mantra. The mantra was also there. But no one could do what Srila Prabhupada could do. So, sometimes I feel like it is our responsibility, we not probably glorifying him enough, that, in the circles that he deserves to be, because he's done so much, like books, millions of Bhagavad Gita. There was no idea, like people like us, even born in India, had no clue of nothing, what the Bhagavad Gita is all about. One time, before I got introduced to devotees, I was reading this Chennamaya Bhagavad Gita. I couldn't get head and tail of it, literally nothing. It just goes so confusing. Maybe I'm less intellectual, other intellectual people can follow maybe, but it was so much. You can go round and round. Srila Prabhupada made it so accessible to us, all of us, understanding the situation of the world today. So by no means, Srila Prabhupada is ordinary. And so are his devotees, what to speak of all his own spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jiva Goswami. Can talk about Jiva Goswami, writing his own Vyakaran, is very, very special, very extraordinary, very extraordinary. So we are very fortunate to be connected to this and to get mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And, in one sense, he's making us also, he's given us everything to also become extraordinary. We are ordinary, but Srila Prabhupada has given everything that we need to also, if we follow in his, instruction, then there's everything to become extraordinary and achieve the association of extraordinary Lord. So I'm just conscious of time. This is 8:25. That was a small purport. So maybe some questions, comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the class. Just trying to understand this earth floating on the Garbha ocean. Now if you look at the descriptions that's given of the universe and other bodies, the Bhumandala is also of earth, and then there are concentric oceans. But then the earth is described as a globe, right? Is made of earth as Bhumandala is. And then the water is also there on this globe. So I'm just trying to picture how is it kind of all held up, and how exactly is the earth situated the way it's situated. I mean, we could say, oh, okay, somehow it's the Lord's arrangement, Lord touched it, like that because of his touch. But if you look at the rest of the universe, it's, so just trying to see what's, how does it work?
So Prabhu is asking a question. So it's like the Lord picked up Urvi from the waters, Garbhodaka ocean, and brings it to the surface, was on the waters, and then places at a particular position. Now it's floating. And how do we understand this? That how is the earth floating? Without understanding that this is Lord's Achintya Shakti that is making all this happen. But I was saying, are there any other answer to this question? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just trying, because if you look at the rest of the universe, the water is always, kind of going to the bottom.
I see. Yeah. So say water, if you say the nature of water is actually put a heavy item, earth on the water, it is bound to...
Yeah, and then the water within the earth as well, in the globe.
Yes.
What's happening with
water
that?
Within the globe as well. How do we understand if we get the...
Because, like, if you look at the rest of the Bhumandala, right, you have the earth, you have the ocean, they're all kind of going towards the bottom of the universe, or, like that. Seems like the force is holding it down.
Yeah, the natural is the gravity will put down everything, how the earth is floating literally.
Yeah, and water itself also.
Water also within the earth itself is floating, and the mountains and everything. So heavy earth, why is it floating? If it is not Lord's Achintya Shakti, inconceivable energy, potency, what it is, I'm failing to understand what else it can be. Like there is no way with my little brain I can decode that. I mean, why everything is placed so perfectly. I mean, that's a big thing for me, even to understand why every snowflake is different and the other one is also so different. Maybe someone else can help me answer this.
In teaching Queen Kunti, Prabhupada gives the answer.
Yes.
He says, just like the earth is heavy, he gives a few examples. He's got mountains and oceans and heavy things on it. But because Krishna's entered it, it's become light. And then he gives another answer. He says, if a child is living, you can hold it with one hand. When the child is dead, you can't hold it with one hand. It becomes heavy. So, even devotees, they're practicing, they become light in their practices of Krishna. The body becomes light. What makes the world heavy is the demons. So Prabhupada said in his teaching Queen Kunti lecture, the atom bomb is waiting for the demons. He says that in his teaching Queen Kunti lecture.
Oh, thank you so much. That was nice. Ooh. Yeah, that's good. So the Lord has entered the earth and making it lighter. Satya, actually, there's I don't know whether that's in a scripture, but it says, what makes earth heavy, the lies makes earth heavy. Yeah, because there's so much lies. If there's truth in the world, which is also can relate to what you're saying, the truth is that Supreme Lord. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Prabhu. But this is the best answer I could have. Thank you so much for being here today, Karantharaj. Yes, sorry.
Sorry, Prabhu, thank you. To clarify, you said Vishwakshena.
Vishwaksena.
Is he same as Varaha avatar, or is it somebody, a different incarnation? Or?
Okay, the Lord's, it is said that the Vishwaksena, in the Vaikuntha, Vishwaksena is there as the protector. So he's the head of the whole team, which is, this is quite interesting. So because what we're going to talk about is Jai Vijay are the Dwarapals, are the doorkeepers. Vishwaksena is the Lord's own, expansion, which is responsible for the protection of the Vaikuntha, it says in the South India. So he is now, how the Bhāgavatam is played, how the name, when the Lord is addressed as what is very interesting. Now we know that Jai Vijay is going to come up and they are the Dwarapals and how this is happening. So Vishwaksena is explained as that one who is protecting the Vaikuntha and protecting the spiritual obstacles of the devotees. That's how it is explained. And if you see a couple of more references in Bhāgavatam, I did not take them out, but there is references where he is addressed as one who protects. And Lord Vishnu's own expansion. So Lord Varahadev, Lord expands, has so many incarnations. So one of the incarnation is Vishwaksena, who is situated in the spiritual world. who is in the spiritual world, in the Vaikunthas. Now he's saying that now the Lord has returned, again bringing Vishwaksena here, because the Lord has returned to his abode. Thank you so much. Granthara Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare